Hello folks, I'm L.A. Little and this is today's short take. You know, when you're looking for clues as to what the market might do next, one of the things to do is to, simply look at those things that can actually move the market. And a lot of what's happened this summer has been some stocks have moved this market and allowed this market to, hang higher despite the broad internals, going worse. And you've probably read about this elsewhere. It has been the case. But if we look at the big three, for example, in the NDX and look for clues there, Apple earnings here, this bar, right? Big gap down. You trade back up immediately. You come back down to test, and you break under it. That was on Friday. That gives you a shot at this low on this time frame. So if you stay down here another bar, right, more than likely you're going to go test this bar. And that bar, of course, is the low on the daily time frame. If you bring it to the weekly, it's this low. That price point is 119.22. Apple's already broken a swing point low here, broken this swing point low on Friday. That moves it to a bearish trend on the weekly time frame. And what it's doing is it's coming back in to try to test off this big bar's high. And so that big bar is high, top of it is about 120. Again, 119.22, you're going to test into that area. Last time you tested, you didn't have the volume, right? Just wasn't the volume there. So now the test is come into it, see if you can break it down. That also happens to be a retest regenerate zone, right? It's this zone here. And so you got multiple types of things taking place. Odds are this should hold one more time, and this thing should try to pop back up again. Now that's Apple. If we look at the next one, largest weighting, it's Microsoft. Microsoft, here's on the daily time frame. Earnings comes down, right? Big volume, comes down, comes back up, and is testing into this high again. If it gets over this high, this is definitely some sort of a sideways range at worst. Pull it back, put it on a weekly. You can see that here as well. It's a sideways range. You had a big spike down, big spike up. Now you're trying to test back up to get back to the highs of the range. If you look at it on a monthly, big spike up is holding in the higher range. Google is the last of the big three. Google had big earnings pop, right? And it's faded back into that gap. Now, with the earnings move here, you actually moved off the bottom to the top almost 25%. So consolidation, pullback, really kind of makes sense. The question is, how far will it go, right? How deep will it go? Will you reclaim 10%, 15% of that big spike before it tries to head higher? You can see the huge spike here on this time frame and on this one as well. So I don't see anything wrong with any of these stocks other than Apple, and Apple's really the test. That's the big one. It's the largest weighting. It's the one to be watching. If Apple goes nowhere, NDX goes nowhere either. That is today's short take.